So today we're going to be talking about special right triangles and show how they work. I'm going to be giving my own examples on the video to show how these properties can be calculated. So we are starting with a 45, 45, 90 degree right triangle, which are commonly known as right isosceles triangles. As with any triangle, the total sum of all the angles within the triangle must be equal to 180 degrees. Since we are given a 90 degree angle with two congruent sides and angles, we can label these sides x. So now, if we put these angles into an algebraic equation, we can see that x plus 90 is now equal to 180. When put into this algebraic equation, we get 90 plus x equals 180. We combine like terms to get 2x plus 90 equals 180. So now we want to get x by itself. So we subtract both sides by 90 and set 2x equal to 90 because 180 minus 90 is equal to 90. So we have 2x is now equal to 90. You divide both sides by 2 to isolate the x, and x is now equal to 45 degrees. This 45 degree angle is now equal to the base angles of the triangle. This proves that it is a 45, 45, 90 degree right isosceles triangle. Now, as we can see here, this side is shared by both 45 degree angles and can be called the hypotenuse of this triangle because it is the longest side. And since we have a hypotenuse, what do we know about any triangle with a 90 degree angle? Exactly, we can perform Pythagorean theorem. So now we can state that a squared plus b squared is equal to c squared. But in this case, because it isn't a right isosceles triangle, we can substitute a for b or b for a. In this case, we'll do a for b. So a squared plus a squared is equal to c squared. And when solving, it becomes 2a squared is equal to c squared. So when solving near the end, we get 2a squared is equal to c squared. And now we want to isolate the a. So we divide by 2, and this becomes a squared is equal to c squared over 2. Now what we want to do when we get here is remove the exponents. So what we do is we root both sides. So a squared is equal to c squared over 2. And when we root them, it becomes a is equal to c over root 2. And now because we have a root or a radical in the denominator, we don't really want that, so we multiply it by root 2 over root 2, and this way we can get the radical out of the denominator, so it becomes a is equal to c root 2 over 2. Another thing we can infer about right isosceles triangles is that the sides are equal to x and the hypotenuse is x root 2, so x root 2. So if we are given a ball and it ricochets off the corner of a room, which is 90 degrees, and we know that the distance between the wall and the other wall is 7 centimeters on each side length, then because of x, and x root 2, we can infer that the distance or the hypotenuse traveled between the two walls is 7 root 2 because of this property that all right isosceles triangles have. Now, if we want to find the side lengths, we plug in 7 for x root 2 because that's the hypotenuse, so 7 root 2, and because there's two sides, you divide it by 2, and you can leave it in this form because it is more precise than rounding to a decimal. And this would be the length of the sides of the right isosceles triangle. And now we are going to be talking about 30, 60, 90 triangles and properties they have and what we can use to find the missing sides of this triangle. Properties only 30, 60, 90 triangles have is 2x, x, and x root 3. 2x for the hypotenuse, x for half the length of the hypotenuse, and x root 3 for the second smallest side of the triangle. If 12 is the hypotenuse, then x is equal to 1/2 of the hypotenuse, so then x must equal 6, and then you just plug x into x root 3, and since x is equal to 6, x root 3 becomes 6 root 3. So here's an example of problem. If you're a fireman and the window where the last person in is 10 root 3 feet high, and the flames on the bottom are shooting out 9 feet far, how far can the base of the 20-foot ladder be without getting hit by the flames and still be able to touch the building's window? So now because of 2x, x root 3, we know that x is equal to 10 because x is half of 20, and when you put 10 into the x of x root 3, it becomes 10 root 3. And this concludes our video for special right triangles. Thank you and have a good day.